Caterly's initial nest egg of $500,000 has grown to over $1 million.
You guys don't get this, okay? Listen, right? This is what I'm saying, man. Turtle Squad all the way, man. Turtle Squad all the way. I'm telling you, these people retire with $500,000, and now they have the equivalent of $1 million, which is still $500K back in 1991. But I want to show you that basically they're never gonna run out of money. Hey guys, I'm Bryson. Welcome to my show. All right, and today is gonna be very interesting because we're watching a video about this couple that retired not with 2 million, not with 1 million, not with 10 million, but with $500,000 30 years ago. Until this day, is still retired. Now, before we watch this video, I do have to A, check if we're recording. So yes, we're recording, but B, go ahead and see exactly how much was 500K worth 30 years ago, because that's a big difference. As you guys know, inflation is a very real thing, all right? Now, without further ado though, let's find out exactly how much it was actually worth back then, because that's the most important part, right? How much money was that actually worth back then? So let's find how much this couple right here, 500K, was actually worth, for example, in 1991, which is basically 30 years ago. So, for example, $500,000 in 1991 would be worth today almost $985,000, okay? So keep that in mind. That's almost double the money. So 500K back then is almost $1 million. So it's not that bad whatsoever. It's like saying like, hey, I'm gonna retire with $1 million. Not that bad, okay? Not that bad whatsoever. However, if you guys are new here, I post videos every single day. So make sure to also subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified. And tap out also destroying the like button. You know the squad, the Turtle Squad. Get it done. Let's go. And comment down below how much money do you need to actually retire. I want to know. Okay, for me, 300K to 400K, 500K is enough for me personally. Like if I have a paid off house, everything's taken care of, 500K is enough for me. Okay, but let's find out what's going on with this couple though.
I'm Billy Caterly, and this is
Billy Caterly and Akeisha Caterly. So, oh wow, look at that, 38 years old. What? Retired at 38 years old. Okay, so now they're like on what, like 68 now? Nice.
my lovely wife, Akeisha. We retired January 91. We're into our 31st year.
That's awesome. 31st year. Yeah, look at that. 1991, guys. My math is impeccable, honestly. Like, let's be honest here.
The
CNBC
68-year-old
plus Acorns. Acorns has a lot of like little sponsors, huh? Acorns is doing very well for themselves. Nice, Acorns.
Caterlys have spent
I don't use them though. I use M1 Finance these days.
the last 30 years of retirement bouncing around between the US, Mexico, and Thailand.
Interesting. So by the way, this is like for a specific type of couple because they're bouncing around from place to place. And on top of I'm guessing by that point, maybe they had kids very early or maybe they had no kids. But that's a very interesting like little thing, right? US, Mexico, Thailand, that's completely different. Because you got like English in the US, Spanish in Mexico, and then Taiwanese, I think, in is that the language to speak over there? No, I don't know what to speak over there. A different language for sure over there in Taiwan.
The former restaurateurs didn't decide to retire early until after they turned 30.
Billy, initially when I met him, was a trained French chef.
Trained French chef. So these people know like 4 languages, bro.
So he worked in a lot of places in Michelin star restaurants and so on. And his big dream was to open up his own restaurant. We met and we...
Awesome. And by the way, retirement is different for everyone, okay? Because retirement for me just means, hey, I have financial freedom. I can retire, but I choose not to. I'm going to keep working, okay? But for this couple, I want to hear what it meant for them.
went to France.
By the way, his glasses are so foggy. Look at this. I don't know how you can see. I know because I wear glasses too. His glasses are very foggy.
And he cooked over in France. So we came home and bought a restaurant and ran.
By the way, restaurants tend to fail very quickly. So if you're going to try this, make sure you understand how the restaurant business actually works because a lot of them go belly up.
And that for 10 years.
One of the couple's
Awesome.
customers offered Bill a job as a stockbroker. His
Stockbroker? Stockbroker? Like stockbroker or stockbroker? I think there's only one stockbroker.
drive and attention to detail as a
Look at that,
Michelin
guys.
star chef translated well to asset management.
Ooh, very nice.
And so I excel. I led the office in new accounts every month. From the first month I came back from training, and then after 3 years, they gave me my own office.
That is awesome. Congratulations. And by the way, That's just awesome, right? Guy went from like restaurant to stock equity management, right? That's insane. But again, that's just to show you that basically there's not just one thing you can do in life. There's so much more you can actually do. I wonder, when does she meet this? Oh, I think they met already by this point, right? So yeah.
And so then I was branch manager, and I was managing a fair amount of money for my age. I was the
Wow.
youngest branch manager in their system at the time.
Wow.
Between the restaurant and the brokerage, the Caterleys were making more money than ever.
I was running the
How much though?
restaurant still, working nights, weekends, and holidays.
And by the way, one thing is health, wealth, love, and happiness. So no matter how much money I make, I always want to make sure I make time for my family. You know, my wife and all that stuff is also very important, right? Money is great. Don't get me wrong. Sacrifices are great also, but you got to set time aside from family because you don't know what's going to happen ever.
And Billy was working Monday through Friday, getting off at 1 in the afternoon, going to the beach.
Look at that. Look at that. Monday to Friday, getting up at 1 p.m. That's awesome.
And that didn't set real well.
And then he was going to the beach while she was running the restaurant. Come on, Billy. Come on. But you know, that stock job stuff, man, it's very intensive on the mind, right? It might not seem like more like physical labor because it's not, but it's a lot more intensive on the mind.
So he came to me with this idea of selling everything and traveling the world. And I thought it was kind of a harebrained idea. And he
A harebrained idea. And by the way, sometimes it's that easy. Sometimes you can get out the race just by selling everything you have and call it a day. Like I again, there's this lady that I know, right? She has a $2.7 million property and does not want to sell it because she just wants to stick with it. But she sells that property, she's good to go on all fronts, okay? Sometimes it's just that simple. There's no need to carry the rat race anymore. So think about that also.
forget about it, but he didn't, and here we are.
That's awesome.
Caterley applied everything he'd learned over the last 3 years to come up with a bulletproof retirement plan.
We took 2 years to plan this. We didn't just come, I didn't come home
By the way, it sounds like nothing, right? 2 years, so short. It's 2 years of planning. That's a long time. Imagine the hours they spent on this stuff to make sure everything ticks off, right? Because he's in a great position. They have a good business, so everything has to tick off.
approach Acacia one day and said, okay, we're gone. No, we took 2 years. We discussed it. We tried to poke holes in this plan
Yeah.
every way we could, and
Awesome.
everything seemed to always come out on the top
Awesome.
side.
And by the way, this was in 1991. So ever since then, we had two big problems, right? We had, well, a few big problems. We had the problems in 2001 with the plane issue. And we had, for example, 2008, right? Oh, the tech crash also happened. We also had, for example, the pandemic. So these people have gone through, for example, like 3 crazy corrections. I want to hear about their portfolio. How's it been doing and perform over that time?
So what we did is we figured out if we could just limit our spending below what we could earn in the market,
Yeah, it's called the 4% rule.
then what was left over would go back into the market or stay in the market and
Yeah, and they will never run out of money.
continue to grow. It's, compounding.
The
Yeah.
couple retired in 1991. Now, when people retire early, many use the 4% rule.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And that's the rule that I was planning to use also.
A principle that wasn't established until 1994.
Oh, wow, look at that, 1994. So this guy over here was using the 4% rule before it was actually established. That's awesome.
I saw from my experience at the brokerage business how much money other retirees whose money I was managing had.
Oh, so you saw it from experience. That's one thing, man. Like, seeing different perspectives is going to clean you out. Seeing, like, somebody do something, being like, hey, I can do this also. Why am I here all the time? I can't even handle my wife. You know what I'm saying? I feel it.
And I said, I got more than they got.
Look at that.
And so I started, thinking and said, well, maybe this is possible. Maybe
Look at his wife, man. His wife is so beautiful, man. Not trying to take her away from you, Billy. Relax, okay? But, such a beautiful couple, man. That is awesome. That is awesome, okay? So shout out to them, man. What a beautiful little family here.
you don't need to sit here till the end. And then, like I said, we knocked holes in the occasion. I challenged each other. We had
called
numerous
it
what we
high
call
volume
high-level
discussions.
High volume discussions. I like that. I like that a lot. Look at that. High volume discussions. I like that.
We had a few of those.
To settle on a goal, the couple would first need to know exactly how much money they spent every year.
Yeah, that's the over idea. And the best way to do this with a low amount of money invested is to make sure you have an emergency account, you have no debt for those payments, and you have, for example, a paid off home. And by the way, their plan includes, for example, like travel in the world, going to Mexico, low rents, obviously, Thailand, low rents, obviously, right? US, maybe they have a home here, whatever it is, right? But the answer is, if you do things correctly and you have no mortgage, an emergency fund, no debt, any of that stuff, your expenses are very, very low when you think about it, right? Because almost a third or like half of your income goes to rent, right? So if you don't have that anymore, you don't need that much money. That's how crazy this is, man. I'm so interested in this plan. This plan is awesome, you know, because I was going to do this plan too. And it's awesome. Let's hear it. But this is people that actually did it, though.
The first thing we did was we tracked our spending because we needed to know how much we were spending.
Awesome.
For our lifestyle that we were currently living. And so
notice he's saying lifestyle that we're currently living, right? Living. I can't speak now. But living, right? Not based on, hey, we're going to go and start eating dirt for breakfast and dirt for dinner. No, it's based on our current lifestyle. How much would we need to actually maintain this? That's the idea.
So what we did is we diligently went back through a few years prior, and then we started tracking them for the 2 years after.
That is awesome. Respect, respect. And by the way, you got to ask yourself, okay, you can either retire now and live on this current lifestyle that you're living, but have not to worry about anything. Or you can say, I'm going to work an extra 5-10 years and then basically be able to retire with a lot more money. Doesn't matter, though. It's up to you, you know? It's up to you.
How much we were spending. And when we eliminated our cars, our house payment,
yeah, there you go.
Insurances, clothing,
there you go.
For the work apparel and the lunches out.
Yeah.
We came that we were only spending about $20,000 on ourselves.
Yeah. How crazy is that, right? And by the way, just for context here, $20K back then was around $40,000 today. For context, right? But yeah, I came up with the same idea. I said, well, if I'm doing this and that, everything's paid off. I only really need around like $25,000, $30,000. That's it. You know, but again, I want to have kids and all this stuff, so my number's a little bit more different here. But a maximum of $48,000 living a very luxurious life with a paid off home and a paid off car and paid off everything, okay? Let's find out.
Caterly figured if he could save 25 times his annual spend, or
look at that. This guy used a 4% rule a long time ago. That is so much respect, guys.
$500,000, they would have enough money to retire.
Back then, ETFs weren't around either.
Wow. To think how much the world has changed, right? ETFs were not around. So most likely he was either building like his own form of them or he's buying into index funds, because index funds have been around for a very long time.
Yeah, you know, this is the dark ages, man.
I like this guy, man. I like this guy a lot.
So
I like the wife too, man. They're so happy, man. I like it.
So we had Vanguard accounts.
I have Vanguard too. Vanguard all the way, baby.
And we started buying Vanguard SPY, which is now SPY, Index 500 fund. Then
yeah, I have that too. In my portfolio, it's around like 38%, but it's not the only one. It's only one of 7. Because you also want to have, for example, like international small cap, some bonds in there. It's personal, right? For me, at least the bonds are emerging stocks and also like real estate. The point is you want to be diversified, so if something crashes, you'll be okay overall.
We switched everything over to ETFs back in the 2002.
Which, by the way, do not require you to sell anything. You can actually switch from index funds to ETFs without being required to sell anything, which is actually a massive, massive deal.
2007, 2008.
Caterly's initial nest egg of $500,000 has grown to over $1 million.
You guys don't get this, okay? Listen, right? This is what I'm saying, man. Turtle squad all the way, man. Turtle squad all the way. I'm telling you, these people retire with $500,000, and now they have the equivalent of $1 million, which is still $500K back in 1991. But I want to show you that basically they're never gonna run out of money. Now, remember, look at this whole stock market chart. I don't even know if this is real or whatever, right? But 2008, we had a crash. 2002, we had a crash also. Pandemic in March, we also had a crash also. These people have been fine for the longest time. That's what I'm telling you, bro. This is what I'm telling you, man. I love this. I love this so much, man. This guy is exactly who I'm making my content for. Like, that's us, man. That's us in a few years, honestly, bro.
Outpacing inflation while funding their retirement.
Or, not just bro, by the way, or girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, girls watch my content too, so I don't want to leave you guys out.
Retirement through a series of recessions.
We were invested in 1987 when the market went down 20+% in one day.
There you go, brother.
So, that'll put a crease in your pants, I'm telling you. So
Look at her, man.
yeah. And then again in 91, right in there was another big hit, and then
It's a part of the game, man. So roller coaster, and you only fail when you jump off. You know what I mean? So if you jump off the roller coaster, that's when you get broken bones. But if you stay on for the long term, you don't ever gotta worry.
2000, remember?
Because the only time you have to worry is if basically we have a war and America loses, or something crazy happens, like nuclear and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you ain't gotta worry about
Oh,
nothing.
remember Y2K? Oh my goodness, yeah. And then we had the 2007 and 8 recession.
Yeah.
The 2008 recession was the only time the couple ever considered re-entering the workforce.
In that 2008-9, I think that was the.
By the way, remember, right? You might say, Tommy, I'm not gonna do this. They're so worried about 2008 and crashes. But remember, the market crashed. It's been 91, 2008. So let's just do some math here, right? 9 plus 8 is 17. They've been retired for 17 years, basically. And now they might consider going back to the workforce. But they still have a bunch of money, because what they don't want to do is panic and sell. Because if they panic and sell, then you have a problem. It only works if all you take out is 4% during the good times and also 4% during the bad times. Or you might do a switcheroo saying like 2% during the good times and 4% during the bad times, right? No. But yeah, that's the correct math right there, right? So you can actually have some extra money, but the answer is you have to be very careful with this stuff, but it works.
First and last time we had that discussion, because it was our biggest hit since retirement. And when we thought about it, we'd have to get to a place, live in a place where we could find employment. Then we'd have to buy a car.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. That's the big thing here about this thing. Now, this form of retirement is not what I want for me personally, but I want what they have with my job, right? That's what I want for me personally. That's what I'm building, right? But if you want what they have, you have to understand, my recommendation is usually, it's not just having like 25 of your income, like 25% of your income, like 25 times your income, your annual income, but it's also having for at least a 20 to 30% margin of safety. You know what I mean? So just for context here, because I know you guys like numbers just like I do, the context is this. If, right, you make 40K a year and you want to use a 4% rule, just multiply this by 25, right? That's how much money you actually need, $1 million. However, if you don't want to work whatsoever, I recommend you also have an extra, for example, 20% or 30%. Now, if you have, for example, an extra 30%, that means 1.3 million. But it means in order for you to ever consider going back to work, the market has to crash by 30% and then stay there. You see what I'm saying? It's just a lot better. So I wouldn't go just at 25. I would go a little beyond that, either 20% extra or 30% extra, because usually it's not going to crash that far. But even if it crashes, for example, by 50%, you should still be good to have your money there. That's the big thing. That way, you don't got to worry that much with this plan right here.
And then we'd be back into that whole spending thing of how much it costs to work.
Yeah, it does cost money to work, right? Because then you have to pay living costs, you gotta get a car and so on. I never thought about it. It does cost money to work. That's so interesting, right? Like, I love learning, man.
Caterlies now help others to retire early, and their best advice comes down to 2 rules.
I want to work with these people. What are they? What's their website?
I would say to invest as soon as you can, as young
Yes, as long as you're debt free and you have an emergency fund. You don't want to invest when you have all that debt.
as you can. Get started now. To monitor your spending, that tracking spending
Very
is
important.
really important, because if you don't know where your money is going, you put it in your wallet and then it's gone.
Not good. Tell that to 19-year-old Tommy, man. 19-year-old Tommy would have slapped this old lady. Be like, yo, shut up! I don't buy my sneakers and leave me alone. You know what I mean? But today, modern Tommy, the answer is I agree with her 100%. You need to track your expenses. If you don't know where your money's going, you got a problem.
You got to learn your own finances, and you got to think of yourself as a business.
Yeah, and personal finance is personal, so you have to do your own personal financing with your own personal budget. But a budget only has 4 main things you have to take care of, right? Shelter, utilities, groceries, and lastly, what's the last one? Transportation. Those are the 4 main things you actually need. Everything else usually is going to be a want.
And you're the CEO of your own business,
Well said.
of your financial health. So look at it
Well
that
said.
way. And get invested as early as you can for the young guys. Get into the index funds. And
Yeah, look what he's saying. Index funds, index funds, index funds. Why? Because they're trying to track the market. People that are doing like individual stocks, yes, they work fine. They work great. But if you don't know what you're doing, and it's not just saying like, I understand Apple. Apple is such a great company. No, it's really understand the fundamentals of accounting and finance to predict exactly where this company actually is and where it is right now, and then get a target value for it. And what's the competition? What's the level of the company? There is so much to invest into a single company, right? Be careful.
you know, 10, 20 years down the road, you're gonna, whoa.
10, 20 years in the road, you'd be like, whoa, the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago, man. And this video is over, and this video gets a big, big, big like from me. Look at these comments. They never mentioned having kids. You see, yeah. It is much easier to retire with no kids. This right here is partly true, but it's also partly a massive excuse. These people, remember, right, when they retired, they were 38 years old. So whether they had kids or not, the answer was, by that time, those kids would have been long gone. And you account for those kids also in your budget. So they not only started the FIRE movement in the 90s before it was a thing. Yeah, I agree. I agree with this one right here. The way his wife smiles at him, yeah, that's so sweet also. I agree, J-Bug. That made me kind of shy too. Inherited enough to retire comfortably and was the smartest financial decision I ever made. And this guy is just funny. Alright guys, so this video is over, but officially I love reading comments on YouTube because it's basically one of my favorite things ever, okay guys? So whenever you watch these videos, guys, always comment because that way I can read them and see if you left a comment. Also, I'll share smart things for watching and comment down below now, okay? If you're gonna use the 25 times your income a year rule, right? How much money do you think you need? Is it 20,000? Is it 30,000? Is it 40,000? Comment down below, let me know. Okay, so basically, for them, it was $20,000 times 25. That makes 500K. So that's where their numbers come from. But comment down below, let me know exactly what are your numbers. Okay, guys? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell, so you get notified. On top of that, also, destroy the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified because that's the only way you get notified when I post a new video every single day at 6 p.m. On top of that, also, if you guys want to call me one-on-one, join me on my third channel called Ask Me Bryson, where I take calls every single day. And subscribe over there also. Turtle Squad out. As always, DM me right here. Thanks for watching. More videos here. Click my face right here. And as always, peace.